Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Brain Tunes with Archana. Today, I have with me a child prodigy. He is all of 13, but he has accomplished more than one can accomplish, or people are still struggling in their 30s to accomplish what this little child has done. I take great pride in introducing Mr. Siddharth Pilli. Welcome to Brain Tunes with Archana in collaboration with Radio Brain Prime. Siddharth.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I hope I can call you Siddharth, or are you comfortable with Mr. Pilli?
Oh, I'm comfortable with Siddharth.
Thank you, Siddharth. So, audience, Siddharth is a 13-year-old Indian. He has been bestowed with the title of Asia's youngest data scientist. He is a speaker. He has addressed many schools, universities, colleges across India. He also works as an RJ where he hosts shows for technology geeks and enthusiasts. He has been featured on many channels, right from NDTV, BBC, 99 TV, ETV Telangana, Sakshi, ABN, Deccan Chronicles, name it and you have it. He's been there in the social media, audio, video, everything. He also has a YouTube channel. I would like Siddharth to talk about himself. Siddharth, where are you from?
Hello. First of all, I was born in Andhra Pradesh in near the Guntur district, but I was basically brought up in Hyderabad. So yes, I'm from Andhra Pradesh.
Great. So, Siddharth, which school do you study in?
Right now, I'm studying at Sri Chaitanya Techno Schools located at Manikonda right now.
Uh,
And I'm eighth grade, and right now I'm 13 years old.
Siddharth, where do you have time to do all of these things? Eighth graders hardly have time to study and play. When do you get time to work on all of these aspects?
Mainly, I think it's all about the way how I'm getting to actually manage time and the will and interest which I'm going forward. And at a small age of mine, I was really interested towards this idea of computing and trying to communicate with the computer to solve a problem. And this idea struck me to grow more in the world of computers. And as this passion of mine started growing, the assignments of everything were growing for me as well. The way I tend to manage these both is by trying to follow myself a certain schedule, or having a journal with me which follows upon telling me what I have to schedule for myself, or what I have to work with for the next few hours. So I tend to use a schedule or kind of a journal to follow along up my tasks.
That's amazing, Siddharth. Siddharth, when was the first time that you were introduced to computers?
The first time I was basically introduced to computers was basically to my dad. Well, it was not into more into the technical background. The first time I started using computers was just opening up the Windows Filmmaker and trying to do some animations. So that was the first interaction with me and a computer, because until then I had no idea on how the system understands what I want to do and how I can use these type of UI commands for the computer to work in the order which I want to. So, I think it was really young for me when I was first started off with the computer, of learning and interacting with it.
What
And
do you mean? Siddharth, what do you mean I was really young? You're still very young. What was the age that you started on with the computers?
well, it is to be sure I'm really young right now as well. But when I first my interaction with computer started when I was basically at 7 years old. That was also when I had this passion of starting to develop my own type of computer programs or games as well. So, with a bit of inspiration from my father and due to his technical background, he made me sure to help me try to make these type of applications with certain programming languages, and gain me this interest on how applications or how computers are being worked through. So the main with the help and physique of my father, he helped me to gain to this knowledge of the computing power which we are dealing with right now.
What is your interaction with Python programming? I guess this is something which is taken up by graduates or engineers at that stage. So, how is it that 7 to 13 years and you are teaching Python programming?
Yes. So I recently started teaching Python programming language just a year back to students right now from all ages. And now, if we talk about my interaction with Python programming language, I'd consider Python wasn't basically my first programming language which I started off interacting with. The first programming languages I started off interacting was with Java. So because my father has the ease of development in Java, he inspired me to start writing programs in Java or getting used to it. So the first programming language which I was really fluent and jotted down some amazing code was for sure in Java. And the way of interaction with Python came forward was because in Java we have this complicated syntaxes which we have to follow to each time we write some code. But in Python you don't need to have that complex syntax every time you just want to print like hello world. So seeing that advantage from the point of view to Java and Python, that's why I shifted to Python, because chances are as we grow on to as we grow on to create some more applications or some more and more complex ML algorithms as well, we definitely need an environment or a programming language which is mostly which basically suggests more ease towards trying to write the code, trying to write the logic of the code and actually caring about the syntax. So that was the biggest reason why I actually shifted from Java to Python. And if we come to my interaction with Python, Python is just a great programming language. It's just a general language which can be used for all sorts. It'll be software development, web development. We have Python backing towards us, and yeah, I think Python is definitely a great language. And with how easy Python is to actually understand, read, and write code in, I saw this type of I basically saw this type of possibility and potential for others to learn Python and write some amazing code as well. So that's why I started teaching Python.
Oh my God. So, Siddharth, I can see the spark in your eyes when you're talking about Python, Python, and Python. You're super excited.
Oh,
That really
thank you.
makes it also sound like a cakewalk. You make it sound like, hey, come on, it's so easy. You can just learn. Anybody can learn it, is how you're saying. So, that clearly shows your enthusiasm into helping others in trying to understand what this is and doing your bit. So, what were your talks on in colleges and universities, like mentioned in your profile, Siddharth?
Yes, mainly I got invited to multiple colleges and universities across right now in India, and most of the talks which I would introduce to basically keynotes and on basically on artificial intelligence. The main type of goal which I focused on was on artificial intelligence and machine learning because it's definitely the next revolution which will be happening the next centuries as well. As they're already adapting to using AI and ML in our real life, I saw it's really crucial for others to understand how AI is working. Right now, I believe many have this misconceptions toward machine learning and artificial intelligence due to the fear of robots and all these sci-fi movies as well. And this fear of AI might include things like unemployment or robots taking over, and all these things which might be thinking AI is going to crisis over this humanity. And this is where I think many people were misconcepted about. So I basically go on to talk about how AI is definitely not a AI is definitely an enemy which will be taking over our jobs or will cause employment. AI is just a tool like any other tool. It's a tool which is helping to make our work easier. I mainly concentrate on helping others understand why AI is so important, and I'm also motivational. I also give you motivational talks on where I try to tell about where I tell about how you can succeed in anything as well. But for surely my main concentration is towards artificial intelligence and machine learning, just helping others understand we don't need to regulate AI or ML in the real world case scenario.
Great, Siddharth. So, Siddharth, now what do you think? Undoubtedly, AI future is all about AI and AI. So, but then what I understand from your speech is, in spite of AI being the future of the world, human intervention is mandatory, right? Do
Um,
you think there are fields wherein AI is going to dominate and completely do over with human intervention? Or there are fields which definitely would require assistance or would require humans to monitor when things go on? What are these fields?
if we come back to talk about this industry or fields which we might think AI might talk about, well, one thing which you have to understand is AI. AI is machine learning or maybe any type of AI. It only works on this one case of scenario because let's say us humans, we have actually become this advanced learning masters where we can learn to cook as well, drive a car, or learn to do Python development as well, learn other programming language as well. So basically we can say we all are humans are basically multi-talented because they are captured this learning where they can perform multiple tasks at a time. But when we come back to AI isn't actually like that. AI basically works upon trying to master only like one certain concept. So, for example, let's say if we are humans, we can't actually try to master both. If you're humans, we can actually master driving a car and again maybe cooking an omelette. But when we talk about AI, let's say we had a Tesla self-driving car. The Tesla self-driving car can be used to drive a car, but again, it isn't something that can actually cook us food or something like that. So that's why I wouldn't say AI is going to dominate over any field because self-driving car exists to help to prevent more accidents and giving it more room for people to just talk instead of driving car and concentrating on that. It's just trying to take the driver's place here. And that I wouldn't see as something which will be taking over the entire car industry as well. But what I see is like this helping hand where this task might be too difficult for this person to do. So why not can just give a helping hand to make this task much more easier and so that other people can concentrate on more important tasks. But recently we have these types of cancer cell detection AI, which detects if it's based on a CT scan if a person has cancer or not. And in the case, we're not trying to take over an entire doctor job. We're trying to help him. We're trying to help him to check if a certain person has cancer or not, so he can concentrate on other more things related to this. So this is where I think about on how AI is going to come over.
Okay, so AI is going to be an assistive tool and is not categorically going to take over something, is what you're trying to emphasize, right, Siddharth?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so Siddharth, you are Asia's youngest data scientist. Does not this require a qualification or a degree?
I think many people definitely have this conception saying it requires a degree and everything. Basically, I get many comments saying, will only PhDs are able to get as into data science." Well, to be honest, I actually saw people from neuroscientists to data scientists happening as well. I think it all comes down to how you basically understand data or how you can actually communicate others with the data from what you understand. And in the same way, many might think yes, actually it requires a lot of qualifications as well. But end of the day, what you're trying to do is trying to analyze this data and trying to communicate others with it. And as the main reason why I so inspired to this science and well in AI because the amount of data which we are having in this current society is immeasurable. Let's go back to let's say the 1960s. We don't even have that type of computing power or data which we have in today's world. And as this data grows, the possibilities which can be performed with this data also grows. We can basically just write off a small ML script to to predict if a person has cancer or not, or we can make like a small classify which actually tries to will try to understand a classify which understands what's an accident and what's not. or a classifier which can understand if a person is wearing a mask or not. So the possibilities with the amount of data which we're having is basically immeasurable. And with this much of data, I see there's a potential for us to help to minimize these types of tasks. So again, yes, I think it requires some great qualifications as well. But in my case, through the interest and help of my parents and my company's willing take on, I'm actually really interested to work as a data scientist.
So Siddharth, you said that okay, definitely it requires a degree, and that is why people are, taking up courses on data science, doing it, and then getting into jobs. Even then, getting a job is not easy at all. Who or what initiated you into data science?
Again, I think it's basically the amount of I think it's basically the amount of data which we have right now. I think the more of this computer embedded devices are going to be grown in the graph exponentially, the same way the amount of data is going to be given off as well. The recent statistics right now, we're having at least for every 3 minutes we're having at least 200 hours of video content that's being uploaded to YouTube or any other social media. If we think so, I think the number is much bigger than 200 hours. I think the number would be bigger. But anyways, we're definitely having every minute a lot of data growing as well. And as the data grows, the possibilities of it here grow as well. So in these cases, in these cases of this data growing, again the possibilities will extend higher and higher. So that's why with the help of this new and released machine learning and AI coming to the spotlight, I saw this great potential of getting into ML and trying to create like an AI which instead of us actually externally programming for doing each part, the computer was only on learning by itself to master a certain task. So that's where I was basically interested regarding ML as well. So I think the main goal for me taking towards data science is the exponential growth of data right now. And I would suggest saying I want to make like a small history in the small history here as well, because right now, let's say if you move on to something like the foreign countries, we're having 14 and 13-year olds are also getting this chance to work at at Facebook as an engineer right now. And what really excites me about how the young minds that are actually getting this possibility of creating these wonderful applications as well. And that definitely inspired me to do something that can remark these things in India is also growing hugely in technology as well. So I was basically going into that part saying why can't I work in a company as well, because the students in the foreign countries are getting these amazing chances, and I thought I wanted an amazing chance as well. And as I was inspired into ML and AI, I wanted to choose data science as the field which I want to constantly increase in as well.
But then, is it not problematic for the company, Siddharth? You're underage, you're a child. How can they employ you?
True. What the child label I think the company has already gone through the supper force and everything. True, what the child labor has to suggest. I think it's all into the subject of labor works, but and I'm actually wanting to work willingly at the company as well, because it's the interest which I'm going forward as well, because I want to continue to dream of working excelling more in AI and ML as well. So willingly I have accepted I'm wanting to work in a company and wanting to definitely work in a company and grow more in ML and AI. So again, it's basically for my advantage because I want to learn more about AI and ML. And the best way I wanted to do is to this practical approach where working with a company, I'm having this more open field where I can get actually this access to learning more. That's again, it's all my willing. Meaning, might think it's not actually my will and everything, but trust me, it's basically my willing. I wanted to work for this company so I can gain more knowledge and have this open access to everything I'm learning about.
Yeah. So that's good. You are willing, but I was very apprehensive as to you just entered your teens and you started working at the age of 12 for a company. So how was that possible? How did they actually uh, take you as an employee? So that was a big question, which was running in my mind, and I just wanted to know as to wouldn't it is against the law, right, Siddharth?
Again, I don't think that's against the law because we have read already the conditions and everything. Because I think it always comes on child labor. If the child is really again, I'm also continuing my studies. That's something we want to mention. I want to grow. I want to just grow my knowledge more and exponentially grow at the same time. And I need this type of open source field. Again, many might think it's just unwilling. Trust me, it's basically I'm wanting to work in a company willingly, and I want to continue the study of AI and ML as well. And again, if it's really think it's law, because you have Facebook who's employing software in just at the age of 14, and I wanted to have this feeling that we also wanted to grow in the field of technology as well. That was the biggest reason why I wanted to get employed, because we wanted to have the same learning rate and help understand that technology is growing for us in a very dramatic rate for now as well.
Siddharth, what are all the awards and the prizes that you have been bestowed with for your achievements? Could you just throw light on those?
Right now I'm awarded as the WizKid Award for the Street and 2019-2020 part as well. I'm currently selected for the Global Young Prodigy Kids Award. So I'm currently selected for that. I think the jury is going to decide on that eagerly. And the next year awards which are being given was basically just the Tech Scholar Up Award, which are being taken for are taken in my school, and few more awards from other schools such as Viz Kid Award and everything. And I actually got a small award from the Deccan Chronicle on a news article as well. So I believe there are a few more, but I can't recall all of them right now.
Okay, okay. So there are so many number that you can't count them on your fingers. Get it, Siddharth. Siddharth, what do you do in your spare time? I am curious because eighth standard kids, you give them a gadget and they are on Insta, or they are clicking pictures, making short videos of themselves, and just monkeying around. Do you even indulge in these things, or it is all about AI, ML, and Python?
Maybe not. Well, I do sometimes. True to be said, I do actually, because I'm not always limited to just focusing on the goal which I'm going forward. Because yes, sometimes I also like to just have a look. I just have a look at my Insta feed, and I'm also a huge fan of playing games. I'm mostly into Minecraft. Yes, I'm just mostly into Minecraft because I think it is a good game. And the way I'm also teaching Python right now includes the use of Minecraft as well, because as Minecraft has its own Minecraft Pi version, Minecraft Pi can be used for Python commands as well. So in the same way as I'm a big fan of Minecraft, I saw others are also very big fans of Minecraft. So uh, learning a programming language in Minecraft was I really like this idea, so that's why I went on with it. And yeah, that's how I actually started teaching Python as well through Minecraft Pi.
What is your YouTube channel all about, Siddharth?
Okay. The videos will be coming up because it's still in development stage, because I'm trying to get the YouTube partner program, so it's still in the development stages as well. So I believe the YouTube partner program needs like 1K subscribers and for 5,000 views. So I'm still in the development of that. So in so the so yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, the content which I'm basically will be uploading to my YouTube channel is going to be on technologies like about Python, about AI, and I'm also basically few tutorials kind of deal, and also helping others understand about how on AI and ML as well. That's the main goal. And I'll also be wanting to start this couple of own things where I wanted to just bring up some tech influentials and understand their point of view, their point of view and a technology and how it can help others as well. So this is what I'll be planning in my YouTube channel.
So, Siddharth, you told that you do classes for different ages. What classes are these, and how do you do these classes?
Mainly, I'm currently giving a few giving Python classes, mostly on Python programming language, and in the first thesis, I given Python programming classes to the for the TANA, the Telugu Association of North America. I given Python classes for those students, and I'm also currently giving Python classes to one of the institutions right now as well. So mainly, if we talk about ages, for me, I think the ages doesn't really matter when it comes to learn, because I actually saw this post recently, and I was actually really happy to know that as well. We have we have basically a 96-year-old statistician. Even though he's that old, the statistician still started learning the R programming language for statistics works as well, which really just gave me this happiness kind of feeling. And that's where I understood age doesn't really matter in the cases of learning and trying to do some amazing things. So that's why I basically kept the learning ages as from well, I think the when learning programming languages, the basic mathematical foundation is needed. So I basically kept the ages from 10 to, yeah, I think 10 to the last stage available there. So that's how I kept the ages as well, because yes, it needs to be learned, but if you have the sample mathematical foundational concepts like variables or simple mathematical operations, you're then like that.
Great. Siddharth, tell me honestly, you are into gadgets, you know the language, you know the programming and everything. This is a very dynamic environment, very exciting. Suppose this when you get back to your eighth standard books, what is your reaction? Your textbooks.
Uh, sorry, I think I don't think your voice break that I didn't get it to hear properly. Would you mind repeating
You
that
could not
again?
hear me, Siddharth?
I think the voice break there because I think it started for me.
Could you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can hear now. Can you?
Siddharth, my question was, you are into machine learning, artificial intelligence, Python programming, no languages. So this is a very vibrant, dynamic environment. So much is going on, right? How is your reaction when you shut down your laptop and then go to your eighth standard textbooks?
Uh, um, well, that is a big change, a big shift in forward. Again, I think education is definitely important because I have to get myself a degree, that's for sure. So I have no ideas on giving up on my education, but I think the shift is going to be big because until for 1 hour I have to basically practice. We just try to jot down some Python program in my Python ID, but when you have to share my laptop and then get started off with studying that, there's a big shift in forward. But I think I think I got used to it. I think because mathematics is one of my favorite subjects and other subjects as well. So the shift, I don't. It is a big shift. And what others think as, but for me, I think it's just okay. Okay, this is my next task. I'll just get started with that. I think in the first, I don't think it really affected me on how I shifted from trying to jot down some code and moving on to something like studying, because I try to consider each thing as as a scheduled amount of task. Let it be how less important or how higher importance it takes, and how many utils it's going to take place here. End of the day, what matters is the certain thing done or not. So I think I used with that principle. So that's why shifting from programming to learning something like the learning what exactly Gerald's in English are not was not a big shift for me. Big I think I became used to it.
So you enjoy both equally then, or
Yes,
you
I do.
you you get into your textbooks only because you have to have a certificate at the end of the day.
Well, I think yes, but I think it also gives me the step of learning more, and I'm also yes, I think it's both on the certificate which I'll be needed, and also I'm also actually learning the certain subject because I'm more into this practical approach than theoretical, but theoretical is also very important.
Great. So that very subtly, clearly stated where your interest is, Siddharth. Okay, so I won't go into much elaboration there. So, uh, is your father your inspiration, or do you have a mentor who is egging you
My father, I wouldn't, because yes, my father, yes, actually, I wouldn't say inspiration, but what I would say is my father is definitely my kind of mentor because he has supported me he has supported me to everything. Because he always says to me, always have inspirations like Abdul Kalam. Do you want to do this good for people? And end of the day, what we have to remember is we have to do good for end of the world as well because he helped me to mentor in many cases as well because in the even the darkest stages he tried to be my best friend as well and because of him actually I'm here on actually being a data scientist and writing this amazing program right now, so kudos to him, that's for sure. And if it comes to inspirations, my dad always suggested me to have these type of inspirations in the life as well. Yes, he's actually again I just said he's not my inspiration, but he would be the person I would like to remember my entire life saying that basically help me to come to this point where I am right now, so that's for sure. And if it comes to my inspirations, I would say my inspiration would be people like Mark Zuckerberg, Abdul Kalam ji, and everyone. I think my biggest inspiration is Abdul Kalam ji. I even have his book next to my table right now, because the reason why I like Abdul Kalam ji a lot is because his principles and his subbed art is his subbed art on principles saying we need to have this persistence and having this knowledge of success, and he always cared about this will and passion in even in the darkest stages as well. So I think Abdul Kalam ji is just my biggest inspiration. There be even technology, but I basically admire Abdul Kalam ji a lot in spiritual kind of way.
Undoubtedly an intellectual with unparalleled. I don't know. Yes, he is a huge inspiration, academician, and a wonderful human being. He will.
Yes, for sure.
So I understand that. Siddharth, I was trying to understand. Do you have a mentor who has, been molding you, or is it all self-study?
In the starting stages, I think my dad was the mentor because, to be honest, I didn't really have this person telling me this is what if else statements are. This is what basically SK learned. I didn't have a person who taught me each thing in a language or anything. But my father did support me on helping understand what my inspiration is and how I can be a good person. I think so. If we talk about learning programming languages, no, I didn't really have a mentor who helped me learn programming languages. So it is basically all this internet and online work because I really let this quote by Elon Musk saying we right now have all resources and we have all resources and internet as well because it can be anything, it's available on the internet. So it's for me on it's all self study, but my dad guided me on what I have to go through as well. And
Lovely.
that's before I actually got a job as this side. And after that, my CEO, Rohit Sampati, has really helped me a lot on understanding what I have to do, what my tasks are, and also helping me to guide through many things as well.
Very
Yeah.
nice. A very inspiring talk that was, Siddharth. Would you like to give any message to the children of your age group?
Um, I'm not really okay, I'm not really the best person here, but I think one advice I would like to always give is never try to give up on the passion and the build which you're going for because yes, there will be these darkest times and these darkest fears which will always affect us to stop what we'll be doing. But end of the day, what we have to remember the subtle darkest things which might come to us or try to say you can't do the next things. I say we just ignore them and just move on forward because yes, these darkest days might come and it's all right to be sad. I'm not saying not to be sad, but I guess the one thing which I have to remember is even these sad days come forward, I think we have to never give up on what we're going forward and just keep on going forward to achieve that will or passion or goal which we're looking. And this is one advice which I would like to give my peers.
Thank you, Siddharth. It was lovely. So, audience, Catch
Thank you.
Them Young is the series in which I have my second interviewee, Siddharth Pilli, and he has been, what can I say, a volcano just ready to burst now. So he has been involved in self-study and all that he has accomplished at such a tender age. Starting at the age of 7 and by the age of 13, he has accomplished many, many things. So this is a live example of sky is the limit. And if you really set your heart on it, you can achieve anything and everything. Siddharth, wishing you all the very best in all of your endeavors and looking forward to newer and greater applications which you can actually bring in to make AI, machine learning more effective, encourage others also to take it up and not consider defeat at the slightest pretext. Wishing you all the very best, Siddharth. You're muted, Siddharth.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your blessings will definitely guide me to a great path. Thank you.
Undoubtedly. So would love to have you on my show again. Maybe this time you can just bring up from some program or some inspirational talk that you have given and, enlighten my audience here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much and all the very best now.
Thank you so much. Thank you.